What's up, sports fans? What's up, world? You are now tuned into the world's greatest MC Ron and his co-host.
Your guy, Zen, on Ken.
And we are keeping it 10 toes down. We are the sports podcast that always keeps it real about sports talk. And ladies and gentlemen, we are recording this podcast. I can say that 5 times fast. On November 5th, 2025, Wednesday at approximately 8:49 p.m. This is actually episode 190 of the podcast. We are 10 episodes away from 200, man. 200. It's crazy, man. Almost there, KJ. We're getting there. The countdown begins right here, right now. 10 more episodes, babe. 10 more episodes. But we are in the month of November. Yes, sadly, last podcast was the last podcast we recorded in October. The best sports month for American sports because all 4 major sports in America are played simultaneously. We have new World Series champions, the LA Dodgers. Congratulations to the LA Dodgers and their fans. Once again, LA triumphs over Toronto. All right, and they did it in 2024 with Kendrick. They did it now. They did it this year with the Dodgers. It's just, I guess, LA owns Toronto for the time being. All right.
And shout out to my cousin too, because I don't know if y'all was watching, but out there in that center field, there was a guy by the name of Justin Dean. And in Game 6, Toronto hit it up midfield, and it got stuck in between the field and the thing. And if my cousin had touched the ball, they probably would have lost that game. But since he did not, that allowed them to go on to Game 7 and do what they did.
Definitely. Shout out to your cousin KJ. But as baseball season ends, we are still currently in the best season, which is football season, baby. Though I do love basketball season too. But anyway, yes, we are still in a football season. Week 9 has just ended a couple of days ago. Overall, KJ, what are some takeaways from this past week in the NFL that you took away from, I guess?
I mean, I'm still trying to wrap my head around the Colts. Because how... It's not the Colts that I'm trying to wrap my head around, because I understand that was an away game in Pittsburgh, but like Pittsburgh is so like they're trash, but they're not trash. They have one of the worst defenses, but they play one of the best teams. Who, again, I kind of still need to see it. I need to see it with Daniel Jones, but I guess that was just a who type of win.
I mean,
Dallas.
Yeah.
Well, first of all, we'll get to Dallas in a second. I know you want to talk about both of your teams. But let's first of all give it up for the terrible teams. It seems like all the terrible teams are doing good this year, right? Okay. Again, even though the Colts just lost, you got the Colts. Somehow the Vikings are still in contention with their with their division. They're only really that whole division is almost in lockstep because everybody got 5 wins, but the Vikings and they got 4, right? Who else? Like I said, the Colts 7-2 at the top of their trash division, but they're looking like one of the best teams in the NFL. The Patriots atop of their division. What is going on? The Steelers are top of their division. Like, what is this 2008? And then you have teams like Carolina. like I said, we were going to be number 2 in our division. We're really a game behind number 1. So, be scared of us, and we just beat the Packers.
I mean, you were saying that how because I was about to say your Panthers, man, 5-4. You were saying how your Panthers need to lose and how y'all need to tank. I'm like, listen, man.
It's not that we need to. I just want us to, because we're not gonna win no We're definitely not gonna win no Super Bowl.
Listen,
so it don't even make no
is
sense
your
for us to
quarterback.
be out here middling around.
Listen,
nah.
Bryce Young is your quarterback, and you're going to like it, okay?
He's only my quarterback by contract. That don't mean he's my franchise quarterback.
Oh, yes,
he's my quarterback for right now.
Listen. If y'all keep on winning like y'all are, I mean, like you said, I think you're only about a game and a half out of first place. And if the Bucs lose this game, and then y'all lose, and then y'all win y'all next game, I mean, listen, y'all have a very strong possibility of winning that division. We see the Falcons; they're wishy-washy, and the Saints are not good at all. So. I'm honestly, but hey, you were prophetic in that, KJ, saying that your Panthers would be second in the division. So, I mean,
because I knew we were going to be good, but we're not going to be better. I mean, let me stop talking, because we can still very well win this division. But first of all, not to jump off of the Panthers, because. Let me read some of my notes again. I believe this is our 4-game win streak. We are currently 5-4. Like I said, a game behind the Bucs. And I'm not gonna lie, I doubted Rico Dowdle, but he did not play the first 3 games of the season. First 3 or 4 games of the season, and he's leading the NFC in rushing yards. 735 yards in like 4 games. One of them games being against the Cowboys, who let him go.
I'm just saying.
He's the 3rd best rusher in the league, behind who is number 1 and 2. I wish I would have wrote this down. James Cook is number 2. I can't remember who. Jonathan Taylor, number 1.
Just saying.
I think this is just one of them years. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna get too ahead of myself. But hey, and then like I said, you got Tet going crazy. I think our acquisitions that we made this offseason are good, are paying dividends, because I think Morig just had or Merrick, however you say his last name. He just had an interception the last game versus Jordan Love. But speaking of being prophetic, what am I? Every week, I just get closer and closer and closer and telling y'all the Ravens are going to the playoffs. The Ravens will win this division, or it at least is going to come down to the last game of the season. But
I mean, the Bengals might have something to say in that. I just joking.
The Bengals will score 75 points just to give up 76. I'm not worried about that.
Definitely. I mean, shout out to old man Flacco, who's looking really good with the
Yeah, actually he is. And shout out to T. Higgins, wide receiver number 1. But can we stop and take some things in for a second? Number 1, Lamar Jackson needs to be given the MVP right now.
I would say Jonathan.
Yeah, I said it. Nope. Give it to Lamar because okay, I understand. The Bears, that game we put 30 on them the week prior. That was one thing. But Lamar, we were like, what were we? 2-5 without Lamar Jackson. Defense looking rough. Everything like that. But Lamar Jackson comes into the game, and I understand he's playing the Dolphins. I get it, but that's still the NFL defense, nonetheless.
A bad NFL defense.
4 touchdowns, bro. 4 touchdowns, and this is not like him going crazy and throwing like 30 times a game. Like he gave Derrick Henry the ball 13 times at least. Right?
I was hoping for a Jackson 5, but it is.
I was, I'm talking about, I was counting it. I was like, there go 1, 2. Once we hit 3 in the first quarter, I was like, oh, we can do it. Excuse me. But speaking of Jackson 5s and touchdowns, passing touchdowns, do you know that Lamar Jackson has more passing touchdowns this season than Josh Allen, Daniel Jones, Joe Flacco? Who else?
Dang.
Baker Mayfield, Jordan Love.
And Lamar Jackson
he's missed like half the season. Without Lamar Jackson, we are a bottom 5 team. With Lamar Jackson, we are Super Bowl contenders. Give that man an MVP. He is the most valuable player in the league. Thank you.
Even though you make a very compelling case, they're not going to give an MVP to somebody who misses like you said, half the season. So they're not going to. He's not going to win it. However, I do see you 100% in your point because honestly, he's the most valuable player. Honestly, like the way your Ravens look with him and without him, definitely.
And you know what's crazy?
Yeah.
If he didn't miss four games this season already, he probably would have threw a Jackson 5 against the Dolphins. He did it the last time he played them. We fry Dolphin every time we go to Miami. I'm just going to say. And then, like I said, we got the Vikings, the Browns, the Jets, who we're going to talk about later, the Bengals, who give up points like hotcakes twice.
There's about to say that might be your Jackson 5.
You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? And then we play the Steelers. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I think we could. We can at least go 10 wins.
Yeah, no. The reason why I wanted Lamar Jackson to get that Jackson 5 just because I wanted to do the Jackson 5. I was trying to find a GIF for the Jackson 5, and so I can just post it. But it's okay. It is okay. It'll come. All right. But you said I wanted to talk about my two teams. First of all, I only have one team. That's my Commanders. I am a supporter and fan of Josh Allen. All right, and that is it. All right. It does not matter to me if the Bills win or lose as long as Josh Allen plays well. I am fine. All right. That just continues my narrative. But anyway, but yes. Speaking of the Bills, they did beat the Chiefs in the game of the week, the game that everybody wants to talk about. For me, I don't care. I can talk about how well the Bills defense played kind of overall. I can talk about how well Josh Allen and the offense played overall. I can talk about how they made plays when they needed to. The Bills made plays when they needed to. I can talk about all of that. But the thing is, though, that happens in the regular season. I think they are 4-1 or like 5-1 against the Chiefs in the regular season ever since 2020 or something like that. Like ever since.
Nah, he's undefeated against the Chiefs.
Ever since. In
the regular season, but in the postseason.
Yeah, so in the postseason, when Josh Allen and the Bills go up against Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs, they are 0-4. And that's why, at the end of the day, this win does not. If I'm a Bills fan, I don't care about this win. I'm happy for this win, but it does not mean anything in the long run. Let's just be honest. It does not mean anything. It doesn't, because we've seen this movie before. We've seen the Bills.
It's kind of like you know what I'm saying, after a breakup. You know what I'm saying. You've been single for a minute, and then. You've been single about a season, and then the next season come around, and then there's somebody y'all do hit it off a little bit, but it don't really. That's not somebody you trying to pursue for real. You just wanted to make sure you still had it. This was like, oh, I still got it type of thing. Okay, I bagged her number and then I never texted her. I just wanted to know if I still had it or not.
Exactly. So. But at the end of the day, all that matters for Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills is, can you all do it in the postseason? Can you beat Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs in the postseason? But at this point, who knows if the Chiefs are even going to get to the playoffs? And I know people are going to be like, "Oh, that's sacrilegious," but look at the division. Like, of course, the Raiders are garbage, but that's. Remember, I said before the season, I think I had them predicted before the season. Let me go ahead and look back in my notes. Because if I remember correctly, I think I predicted the, so my prediction was the Chiefs going to finish second with, never mind. I thought I had predicted, but I did say that the Chiefs weren't going to win their division this year. I did predict them not to win the division this year. So, and honestly, it looks like they might finish third. And so, and who knows if that's going to be enough? They're going to have enough wins to even get to the postseason. I still think they are. I still think they're going to get there. I think the AFC West might have 3 teams that get into the playoffs, and that's, once again, the Broncos, Chargers, and Chiefs.
Let's see.
Huh?
Let's see. Let's look at these here standings. New England, Buffalo could go.
Mm-hmm.
Pittsburgh, Baltimore could go. Indianapolis. That's the only team I see going.
Well, who knows?
Denver, LA, Kansas City. Yeah, they got the best chance out of any of them in the AFC to have 3 go.
Yeah, because I would say because we know with the AFC South, only the division winner is going to get there, and it looks like the Colts are going to be running away with that division. However, I'm not going to completely 100% count out the Texans, not just yet, because they have won that division the last 2 years. I'm not going to completely rule them out. And remember, the Colts are now getting into the tougher part of their schedule now, because they played the easy part of their schedule for the most part. Now they're getting to their tougher part. So who knows what's going to happen? Maybe the Texans go on a run, and then the Colts kind of follow. I'm not saying that's going to happen, but we've seen this movie before in the National Football League in previous years and years, where a team that like shocks everybody at the beginning, and they start out 6-1, but then they end up finishing like 7-9, 7-10 because they get into their more tougher part of their schedule, and then they go on this losing streak.
Well, they got to play the Falcons next. Well, they host the Falcons, so they should.
Yeah, they should win that.
But then they got to go to the Chiefs. They got the Texans, they can win that. The Jags, they can win that. Seattle, 49ers, Jags, Texas. I mean,
well, they could. Yeah,
this is definitely 10 wins. But
and I think
how
10
do we
wins
feel about them
division.
how do we feel about them getting 11 or 12?
Talk about the Colts. I think there's a good chance they could. They could. I mean, one of those games might break right for them. Well, it's a wait and see. But I do think by what you just explained to me with their schedule with the Colts, I think they're going to win that division. Because the only team that I keep on forgetting. I talk about the Texans, the Jaguars. Now I understand like that's going to be like, really, the Jaguars for real? Over all this season, KJ, what's the Jaguars' record?
5 and what is their record? 5-3.
Yeah, 5-3. And so, the Colts right now sitting at 7-2. All right, they're sitting at 7-2. The Jaguars, honestly, because I just completely disrespect them, because they have a better chance to win the division than the Texans do, because the Texans, with all the offensive line problems, injury at receiver, they got no running back. Like everything they're just having a bunch of bad luck over there. Like like 72 black cats are just crawling around their stadium. So the best team probably that has a chance to beat out the Colts are the Jaguars. The problem with the Jaguars is that they had that great win against the Chiefs, and then they lose it. So we don't know. Like they literally played the Raiders to an overtime. Like they literally went toe to toe with the Raiders, and that's not a good thing.
Toe to toe with the Raiders is crazy.
Like them and the Raiders had like it took overtime for them to beat the Raiders. So my question is, what Jaguars team am I going to get? I don't like. Am I getting the team that when like that had a struggle against the Raiders, or I'm going to get the ones that beat the Chiefs? And that's why, in my opinion, the team that's probably going to most likely win the AFC South is the Colts, because they look like the more consistent team, and the team I would trust the most in that. Let's talk about because I was talking about my team. KG, you said talk about my two teams. I only have one. That's my Commanders, and we have just bad injury luck. This whole season was, first of all, as a Commanders fan, I realized that this whole season was bad juju. The moment that in the offseason that Terry McLaurin did that holdout, I was like, yo, man, the season began with a bunch of bad juju, and it just kept on going. Everybody kept on getting hurt. A defense that was already fairly below average got even worse because of the injuries. Jaden Daniels once again dislocated his shoulder in the Seahawks game, but he's been getting hurt because he's got nobody to throw to, because not only has Scary Terry, the guy that has held out, our number one receiver, has been hurt, but Deebo Samuel's been hurt. Our receiver 3, Noah Brown's been hurt. Our Luke McCaffrey, our wide receiver 4, just got knocked out once again, gone for the season. And so now you got who do we have left? We're literally getting guys off. We had to literally get Treylon Burks off the street.
Wow,
that bust of a draft pick.
Wow, times are really hard when you got to rely on Treylon Burks.
Like literally, like Treylon Burks, we got him off the street. We got.
I thought it was
Robbie
bad
Chosen.
When the Ravens went to go get Nelson Aguilar.
No, bro. We are in the doldrums of wide receivers that we get. We had to get Robbie Chosen. Remember Robbie Anderson, the guy that had that random 1,000-yard season for the Panthers and never produced like that ever again? Yes, him. We had to get him off the streets. We're just at this point. We're just
Mr. Anderson.
At this point, we have to get guys out of the stands to play wide receiver. Like, it is getting that bad. We're literally just playing our practice squad. And so, in adding the fact, once again, fairly below average defense to start the season. I'm talking about even with everybody was healthy, the defense was fairly below average. I'm going to be honest with you, because remember, I said it before the season started, how I did not trust the defense at all, and also how I did not even trust the offensive line as well. I said that before the season started. This is why I had my Commanders really finishing like 9-8, and that's why I kept on saying a 10 win or like 8-9. I was like 8-9, 9-8, somewhere around that. Because, and that's why I said the very best case scenario was us getting 10 or 11 wins, and that's with everything breaking right for us. That's with everything breaking right for us, and like some luck happening. But I did not see an 11-win season. And for all you Commanders fans that thought we were going to replicate the season that we had prior, my question is, what were y'all paying attention to? Y'all were really sipping that Kool-Aid. Me, I'm a realist. I saw once again, I saw the writing on the wall. And once again, injury after injury after injury after injury. Not to mention, once again, the injuries on defensive end too. Once again, Dorrance Armstrong out for the season. Marshawn Lattimore out for the season, though that might be an addition by subtraction. Sorry, but yeah. And so now my Commanders are sitting at here 3-6 with our backup quarterback starting for presumably the rest of the season. Hopefully for the rest of the season. Jaden Daniels just needs to sit down. We just need to sit him down. It's okay.
His arm looked like RG3's leg. I'm just gonna say that.
The only good thing, and I really hate this. People are trying to say, "Oh, he's just the next RG3." Look, we told you, Commanders fans. Oh, he is just the next RG3. First of all, y'all said the same thing about Lamar Jackson, and now he's a 2-time MVP, and once again, he's one of the top 5 quarterback in the NFL. So,
but Lamar Jackson, does not play for the Washington Commanders.
He doesn't. He doesn't. But the thing is, Lamar Jackson and Jaden Daniels have the similar type build. They really do. All right. What Jaden Daniels needs is an offensive line that can actually protect him. What Jaden Daniels needs is not for every single one of his wide receivers to get hurt. Like every single one. Like I said, our wide receiver 1 through 4 has been hurt. We literally have to get guys off the street. We have to get our practice squad receivers in there. Not to mention, once again, offensive line that is horrid. So what do you think that's going to happen? No wide receivers plus bad offensive line equals quarterback getting hurt. All right. Look at Joe Burrow. And he actually had good receivers, but he had a bad offensive line, and guess what? He got hurt. He's been hurt. Because people don't realize that too. Joe Burrow's been hurt with the 6-7 season he started. I think he's been hurt, been knocked out of the season about 3 of them, 3 or 4 of them. But why? Because bad offensive line play. Because if you have bad offensive line play, that means your quarterback gets hit a lot more often. I.e., and then guess what? You end up getting hurt. Once again, Joe Burrow, same thing. That's why I think Joe Burrow ain't playing right now. Got hurt because of a bad offensive line. We need to fix our offensive line. Like, for real. Josh Connolly, we drafted him, but he was a project. A project. Which means he was going to take about a few years until he's able to start. If we were going to draft an offensive lineman in the first round, we needed to get a guy that was a finished product. Which means we should have traded up to get like who the Patriots drafted. Why do you think Drake May's well protected? Somewhat. Better protected than Jaden Daniels, I'll tell you what. I would like to add, once again, Drake May was my QB too. He was the one I said during the draft. Remember, KJ, we recorded this. I was pissed off that my Commanders did not draft him at the time. That's all I'm saying. But even Drake May would have been hurt by that. Would have been hurt by now. Because of all the hits that our offensive line would just, like I said, we probably should have traded up and gotten Will Campbell. I bet you if we had Will Campbell on our offensive line, we'd be a little bit better.
I mean, anytime you have a Michigan man. Oh, I'm tripping. You said Will Campbell?
Yeah.
Let's edit that one out.
No problem.
I don't know why I was thinking Mason Graham. I'm tripping.
Oh, no, that's
defensive tackle. Yeah. I wonder how he's doing in Cleveland. But it's Cleveland, so he could be doing phenomenally, and nobody will ever know.
But Jaden Daniels, just stay out. Stay out for the rest of the season. It's okay. We're not going to the playoffs. Now the question is Dan Quinn going to survive the season? We'll see. You know what? But a lot of other things happen in the NFL, especially this trade deadline. A lot of people, well, not a lot of people, but there's people that went. So a few sort of kind of big names went to different places, and let's just start off with the Jets. The two players that they traded off, KJ. Who was it? Quinnen Williams and who else? The main, like probably the biggest name that got traded. Sauce Gardner. So, how do you feel about Sauce Gardner being traded to the Colts? Well, or really, how do you feel about?
Well, I'll tell you. I'll give it all to you at once. I think. Every team benefited in all of these trades that the Jets were making. The Jets seemed like that they were making a wholesale trade. I think the first domino that fell was like we said, Sauce Gardner to the Colts. I mean, the Colts already have a phenomenal roster. I think they were slacking in the secondary a little bit, and Sauce Gardner clearly is going to clean that up. But I mean, you got Sauce Gardner, Jonathan Taylor, Tyler Warren, Quentin Nelson, Michael Pittman, Alec Pierce, Josh Downs, DeForest Buckner, Tre'Davious Ward, Cam Bynum. Like, you got all of these players. You have all of these players on this team, and it just looks like it got even better. Because you got one of the best cornerbacks in the league. So now we're talking about the Colts and the teams that they have to play going forward. I mean, what did we just say? The Falcons? Okay. Sauce Gardner can definitely help out stopping what's that man's name? Drake London.
Drake London.
Drake. You know what I'm saying?
Drake? That's a
Drake. Now they definitely still might lose to the Chiefs. Okay, that's cool. That'd be 8-3. You know, but then you get Texans, Jags, Seahawks, Niners, the depleted Niners at that. Jags again, Texans again. Like, yeah, the AFC South sounds like a wrap. Quentin Williams, and they did get. Well, I'll talk about the Jets last. Then they got rid of Quentin Williams, their best defensive lineman, defensive tackle at that. I personally think Quentin Williams probably might be is the best, if not the second best player on their defense. So they just gave up their first and second best player on defense. This was what made me think like, okay, Jets were going wholesale. Everybody got to go. Fire sale. Like, they're just blowing it up, starting all the way over. And they trade him to Dallas. So for me, from a Dallas perspective, I think that Dallas is doing exactly what they planned on doing in the offseason when they got rid of Michael Parsons. Jerry Jones said, and by getting rid of Michael Parsons, we are going to help bolster this defensive run game. Yeah. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, they got rid of Michael Parsons, who's really not that great for defensive stopping. He can get to the quarterback, but not the running back, right? And then they basically replaced him with two defensive ends because they just get they traded Micah to the Packers and got Kenny.
Yeah, Kenny Clark.
Kenny Clark, a defensive tackle. And now they're trading. I'm going to give you all the details in a minute, but they're trading, some assets away and getting another great, I would still consider great defensive tackle in Quentin Williams. You know what I'm saying? So you're definitely not running up the middle on Dallas. I'll say that. Maybe you'll run on the outsides, but the middle is no, you're not doing that.
No, Phil still run up the middle and push the hell out of that.
Right, and that's probably why why Dallas is also doubling down on the. Now they don't have a winning record still, but But still, I mean, I think this makes their defense a little better, I guess. I mean, definitely can't make it worse. So I think this is a win for Dallas. They also gave up my Michigan man, Mozzie Smith. So, and I think the Colts gave up a wide receiver, a die. I think that's his name. Yeah, Mitchell.
Listen.
But for the Jets, as a whole, this is my thought. Okay, you just acquired 2 first rounders in 2026, 2 second rounders in 2026, another pair of first rounders in 2027, and another pair of second rounders in that same year. So you just got, what is that, 8 picks in the first 2 rounds over the next 2 years, not including the picks that you already had.
Mm-hmm.
And you didn't blow your team up. You still have your offense pretty much with Breece Hall and
who wanted to get traded.
Who wanted to get traded? Really, we really should have did a segment on the players who didn't get traded. That's the crazier schemes. But you kept Breece Hall, and I keep forgetting his name because he played at Ohio State. His name is Garrett Wilson. So I'm like, okay, they're trying to keep a semblance of some type of offense just in case they bring somebody better in to help them, lead their team. And, they have all this draft capital, all these assets, blah, blah, whoop-de-woo. But you know what? At the end of the day, they are still the New York Jets. And it does not matter what you give them. You could give them the number 1 overall pick for the next 30 years, and they are not going to have a good team. So everybody wins but the Jets.
I mean, it's still, as a Jets, if you're a Jets fan, I guess they got a little bit of hope. I guess they're trying to feel a little bit of hope that, maybe these top 5 picks, not the top 5, these top draft picks are going to pan out. Especially, like you said, we got about 7, 8 of them over the next few years. But here's my thing. I think the Jets are tanking this year. They definitely are. They're trying to get a top 5 pick. Justin Fields is not going to be their starting quarterback next year. They're going to draft a new starting quarterback for their franchise again.
It better not be Lenora Sellers.
We'll see. Like I said, they're trying it again. I guess, but my thing is, why don't you just trade Breece Hall? Why Jets did you just give basically you gave the middle finger to Breece Hall, saying, "Hey, buddy, you're staying here," and like Breece Hall
thing up.
Yeah, you should have just said, "Hey, we're getting rid of you too, Breece Hall." But I guess they see some value in Breece Hall, or they're just being assholes and be like, "Nah, we can trade you. We may want to trade you, but nah." Since you really want it, we're going to keep you. Now, I think Sauce Gardner is going to do well for the Colts. I think Sauce Gardner will be better for the Colts than Quinnen Williams will be for the Cowgirls. Well, I think Sauce Gardner will make more of a difference for the Colts than Quinnen Williams will for the Cowgirls. That's what I really want to say. Not saying that Sauce Gardner is a better defensive player than Quinnen Williams, because because to your point, KJ, I think the best defensive player on their team was Quinnen Williams. But I think here's the thing, Cowgirls. Did you see your $95 million, almost $100 million cornerback, Mr. Deron Bland, get
judo flipped?
I know
judo flipped, bro. Like I understand the Cardinals' game plan. That game was to almost force feed Marvin Harrison Jr. because they have not been doing that this year. But boy, did they pick up? Did they pick the team to do it on? Jesus, and thank y'all because y'all helped me win my fantasy league. I'm in my fantasy league.
Not this week, but anyway.
yeah, whatever.
No, but here's my thing. Cowgirls, do you think Quinnen Williams? All right, your defense just got diced up by Jacoby Brissett, a journeyman backup quarterback. You just got diced up by. And this isn't like Joe Flacco type guy where, Joe Flacco used to be a starting quarterback for over a decade in the NFL. No. This man, Jacoby Brissett, at no point was an actual real deal NFL starter. Like I said, a journeyman backup. And not even he's not Ryan Fitzpatrick type journeyman backup either. He's your average run-of-the-mill journeyman backup.
Derek
he's your Luke McCown.
Okay. Yeah, that's not better than Derek Anderson.
And you got diced up by him. And you think Quentin Williams is gonna fix that? Oh yeah, and then you added somebody from the Bengals defense. That's gonna help. You added Logan Wilson from the Bengals defense. The Bengals defense. The same defense that gives up 50 points just because. And you think a player from that defense is going to bolster? We'll see. We'll see, Cowgirls. We'll see. This reeks of another desperation move by Jerry Jones that he thinks that's going to work this year, and it ends up not working the way that they wanted to. That's all I'm going to say. But Sauce Gardner to the Colts, definitely going to work. Also, the defending Super Bowl champs got better during the trade deadline, getting Jalen Phillips and Jair Alexander. Now, I don't know how Jair Alexander's going to work out.
Okay. Now, y'all, let's not press the panic button so aggressively, right?
Yeah.
Because I understand Jalen Phillips to the Philadelphia Eagles sounds absolutely terrifying. Because why do they need more firepower on defense? They don't. Stop. First of all, whoever these GMs are who continue to trade with Philadelphia, you are doing a disservice to the leagues and fans everywhere. Because why? They just won the Super Bowl. They already loaded. What you traded with them for? To win another Super Bowl? Oh, they're not in our division. They're in your league. You're going to have to play them eventually. And you keep trading all your assets to them. You don't want to. You're not going to want to do that. Stop trading with Philly. Jeez. But back on topic. Now, if we know anything about Miami Dolphins players, that they are injured. Very injury prone. Jalen Phillips is an injury-prone defensive end. So, as impactful as he will be on the field, it's not going to be as much as y'all think because he ain't going to play all them snaps. Maybe he don't need to play all them snaps because he plays in Philly and they got a deep rotation. But, hey, but I will say Jair Alexander, I ain't afraid of that. They can have him. It was cool because, he played with Lamar in college, but, he ain't on the field. He more hurt than Phillip. So, all right.
Like I said, we'll definitely see. I mean, hey, we know Philadelphia's going to win the division automatically. That's. I still think this is still the team to beat in the NFL. Now, a team that the only team in the NFL right now I see beating the Eagles in the playoffs. The only team I'm talking about AFC and NFC are the Rams. That's the only team I can see beating them, because remember, the Rams last postseason played the Eagles pretty close. They're the only team that played the Eagles close. My Commanders got blown out. The Chiefs got blown out. The Packers got blown out. The Rams are the only one, and they nearly won the game. Remember, they nearly won that game. They were driving They were like inside the 10-yard line, getting ready to win that game. And then the fumble happened, and then guess what? Game over. But so, and now you're talking about a Rams team that just got better, and an Eagles team that basically kind of comparable now. They're basically the same way. They had to, once again, they made these trades to try to improve their team because they realized that they powered down just a little bit. But you're facing a Rams team that got better against the Eagles team that pretty much kind of stayed the same, which is still, favorite, which they should be favored to be, to win the Super Bowl again. But I'm just saying, just watch out for the Rams. If I'm an Eagles fan, I'm watching out for the Rams. A couple of interesting trades. I just want to talk about the last two. Two wide receivers, Jacoby Myers to the Jags and Rashid Shaheed to the Seahawks. I think the Jacoby Myers to Jags trade is not going to amount to much, really. My thing is,
because it's still the Jags. It does help solidify them in the receiver because Brian Thomas Jr. has been hurt. I think Hunter is out. He's either out for the season or I think he was just on IR. But by the time he comes back from IR, they're going to be about eliminated. So
I don't know if that's going to be like that. I don't think that's the home run trade that the Jags want it to be. So we'll see. And Rashid Shaheed being traded to the Seahawks. They lost Cooper Kupp, so they've been looking for a guy to kind of replace that. And I think Rashid Shaheed is a perfect speedster for them. He's a guy that can stretch the field. I can see him I think he's going to do really good in Seattle. But as you see, Seattle didn't really need that against my Commanders because they just brought us shreds, man. But any other trades you want to mention from this trade deadline?
Like I said, there were a lot of players that did not get traded that I was shocked at. Like Hendrickson with the Bengals didn't get traded. Even though Miami's terrible, they're not giving up Jalen Waddle. Who else didn't get traded? We already said Breece Hall didn't get traded.
I think that was more of an FU by the Jets there.
Yeah, it'll come back to me, but yeah, I mean, it was a pretty interesting trade deadline, if I do say so myself.
If you do say so yourself, yes, well, but hopefully these trades work out for these teams. It's going to be interesting to see. I definitely want to see Sauce Gardner on the Colts. Like that's the one I really want to see how it's gonna play out. All right, but let's get into Week 10 of the NFL, and you know it, you love it. Our weekly pick 6. We have got 6 games up on the docket for Week 10 of the NFL. We're going to go ahead and predict who's going to win. Starting with tomorrow night's game, the Thursday night game on Prime Video. We got the Raiders at the Broncos. KJ, who do you got?
It's the Broncos. I think if anybody who is listening to this podcast knows anything about football, they'll understand why the Raiders are not beating the Broncos, especially at home. I mean, especially on the road.
Well, yeah, because the Broncos are undefeated at home to this season. I think that undefeated streak still goes on. I got the Broncos winning 27-13. Ain't no way. The Broncos got one of the best defenses in the league. Yes, their offense is maybe and their Bo Nix is sometimes a little but nah, not the Raiders. Come on. Yeah, Broncos 27-13. The next game, I believe this is the Sunday night game. We've got the Steelers at the Chargers. Pretty interesting game. Who you got, KJ?
I'm not picking the Steelers for the rest of the year. Come on, fighting Jim Harbaugh's. Help your brother out.
I'm also going to go with the Chargers, not because I want them to lose so then the Ravens can win the division, but because I think the Chargers are just a little bit better than the Steelers. For me, both teams are pretty evenly matched, but in those cases, I'm going to go with the home team. All right. So yeah, give me the Chargers 27-24. The next game is a Monday night game. Finally, a good Monday night game. The Eagles at the Packers. KJ, who you got?
This is an interesting game because I don't know how Saquon is doing with that. I don't know how Saquon is doing with that groin injury.
Some of the groin. Yeah.
But at the same time, I'm not sure if that matters because even if Saquon doesn't play, the Eagles have shown us that they can throw the ball. So I'm gonna go ahead and go with the Packers because they just got embarrassed by Carolina. They don't want to be embarrassed again.
You see, the Packers, that embarrassment to Carolina, but this is really always gave me cause. But there's another loss that they had this season. Oh, to the Browns. Yeah, they also gave me cause to pause. Like, see, those two losses, like, it's losses like that really made me think, like, listen, it gives me cause to pause. Okay, 2 games that you should have basically won, honestly, probably by double digits, you end up losing inexplicably. All right, with Jordan Love went from looking excellent against the Steelers to looking like what? Do you know how to play quarterback against your Panthers? Though I think the Panthers probably have an underrated defense. But anyway,
we do have a top 10 defense. That's all I'm just saying.
Like I said, your defense is underrated. People don't realize how good your Panthers defense
top
actually is.
Top 10 defense, and we run the ball. So I mean,
exactly. That's why you're 5-4. But anyway, but still, give me the Eagles. I don't trust the Packers. I don't think the Packers. They started out this season. Everybody thought, like when they started out 2-0, like 3-0. Everybody's like, look at the Packers. They're gonna give a run of money for the Eagles. I'm like, I don't know about that. And they've proven why I had a lot of reservations. Give me the Eagles. I think the Eagles beat them by double digits, 28-17. This is a big matchup in the NFC West. This is another division that might have three teams going to the crazy. Both the West divisions in the AFC and the NFC is actually looking really good this season. Crazy.
Wild West.
I'm just saying because once again with the NFC West with the Rams, the 49ers, and the Seahawks. Now this matchup is the Rams at the 49ers. This is a big matchup in the NFC West, basically division race because it's a 3-horse race between once again the Rams, the 49ers, and the Seahawks. Which I definitely can see all 3 teams making it to the playoffs. Once again, like I said, both the Western divisions on both sides of the conferences looking really, really good. But KJ, who you got?
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't even hear who you said.
Oh, Rams at the 49ers. Who you got?
Oh, come on, man, give me Matt Stafford. Y'all know I don't go against Matt Stafford. The Niners. The Niners have definitely been overachieving with all of the injuries that they've had, but dude, Matt Stafford, Devontae Adams, Sean McVay. That's all you need.
Hey, man, it's Sean McVay versus Kyle Shanahan. Hey, all you need is Kyle Shanahan, and Kyle Shanahan, as long as he has the quarterback that he likes, he'll make it happen. He'll make it.
Mac Jones out here. Doing well is crazy. I'm telling you, this is the year of the resurging bad quarterback.
But hey, I think honestly, we talked about the MVP race. You talked about Lamar Jackson. We've talked about Jonathan Taylor. Why are we talking about CMC winning the MVP? Because like people talk about, hey, Mac Jones is playing well, but yes, the guy that has been crazy in this year where we have teams like my Commanders and other teams that have bad luck with injuries, including the 49ers have had bad luck with injuries this season. The one guy that has remained healthy this whole season for the 49ers has been Christian McCaffrey, which is crazy. But the thing is, honestly, that's probably the reason why the 49ers are still have a winning record, which probably maybe CMC needs to be MVP this season. But anyway, we're going to predict the game. I think it's going to be a great game. It's going to be a very close game. I think this is going to be the game of the week. But I think the Rams squeak out the 49ers with a game-winning field goal, 30-28. The next game we're going to predict is the Patriots at the Bucks. KJ, what you got?
I think Bucky Irvin is coming back. I think Chris Godwin is coming back. They still have Emeka Ibuka, and they still got that bad man Baker Mayfield. Give me Baker Mayfield.
You know what? I'm drinking the Drake May Kool-Aid. The guy that was my QB2 last year coming out of the draft. The guy that I wanted my Commanders to, at the time, to draft over anybody else. To be perfectly honest. To be perfectly honest. But anyway, give me Drake May. Give me the Patriots. Patriots dynasty coming back. The evil empire is striking back 31-23. And the last game we're going to predict from week 10. Your Ravens, KJ, at the Vikings. And I'm going to pick this one first because, since this is your team, KJ, I'm going to let you go last. Give me your Ravens to beat the Vikings in a close one because I don't know what I'm going to get out of either one of these teams. So give me the Ravens 24-21. KJ, who do you got?
Lamar Jackson. We're going to get 10 wins or more and win the division. I'm going to say that every week on the podcast until it happens.
It's good. We definitely would. That would be interesting to see. Definitely. I mean, there's a chance. But that is it for all of our predictions. Is MC Ron going to go 6-0 again? I'm still riding off that high. I didn't go 6-0 last week. I went 3-3, but it's okay. I went 6-0 the 5th season of this podcast. I'm still riding off that high. And honestly, I don't even. But watch, I'm gonna start rolling off those 6-0s. I'm just saying. Y'all about to see. Y'all are about to see. All right. But we're done talking about NFL football. No, I'm not gonna talk about anything. Nothing really in college is interesting me. It's just me at this point. All right, just my Nittany Lions are gonna get destroyed by Indiana. I do not. Once again, Fox. Mini rant. Fox. I asked y'all this last week. Again this week. Flex my Nittany Lions out of that big noon game. Do you think, I told y'all this last week and I'm telling you all again. Do you think the United States of America wants to wake up on a Saturday morning to watch my Nittany Lions get destroyed by 50 by Indiana? Do you want... You know what? You get what you deserve, Fox. You get what you deserve, okay? Because I didn't watch the game last week. I knew what was going to happen. Call me a fake Penn State fan. Fine, I'll take that. But I wasn't going to watch that game. I knew what was going to happen. The fact that we only lost by 24 actually shocked me. But it wasn't as close as y'all really think it was, but it's hell. And now we're going up against Indiana. It's about to be lost by 50. I'm not watching the game. I'm not. Flex us out of it. But anyway, let's move on to some basketball. Let's move on to some NBA basketball. And the main thing we want to talk about here on the podcast is the LA Lakers. They've had an impressive start. Haven't they not, KJ?
Very much so.
And what's crazy is, KJ, have they had LeBron this whole time?
They haven't had LeBron this whole time, and they haven't had Luka for half the time.
And so for them to start this way, it has really, honestly, once again, I understand we're only about 8-9 games of the season, so we know it's 82 games, so it was a long season. All right, we understand that. But how they've started out so far impressed me. I had to sit back. You know what? I might have to wait and see with the Lakers. They may make some noise in the postseason. Even though I thought they were just going to be a 10. Even though I thought they were going to be a 10 seed, getting in the play-in and then losing the first round. That was my prediction. All right, for the beginning of the season, I did not have any faith in the Lakers whatsoever.
I feel like people were not really looking at their depth chart like that for real. Like Dalton Connect before he got, almost traded and his confidence shook. He was going crazy. You know what I'm saying? Austin Reeves goes crazy. Rui Hachimura is one of their most efficient players on the team. You know what I'm saying? Like, you still got Jared Vanderbilt. And then you bring in like a guy like Jake LaRavia, who's coming in and first game dropping 24 points like it's nobody business. Like, it's ridiculous, bro. And then, like, again, we're talking about Austin Reeves, bro. The beginning of the season, everybody was talking about like, can you play Austin Reeves and Luka at the same time? Bruh.
Apparently you can.
Without Luka and LeBron, Austin Reeves is 2-1. You know what I'm saying? Like, or the Lakers are 2-1. Austin Reeves has dropped a 51-point game, a 41-point game, a 26 and 16-point game, along with a buzzer beater. Like, it don't make...
8 or 15 is loaded.
Bruh, I mean, he is ridiculous. And then, like, he has just as much confidence playing on the court when Luka Doncic is in the game versus when Luka Doncic is not in the game. So, like, we need to cut all this. Are you going to trade Austin Reeves crap out? Because he's looking like, since, LeBron is eventually going to leave the Lakers, he's looking like a strong number 2. 1-8 almost on some nights.
The question is, honestly, should he trade LeBron? I'm just saying.
Yeah, no, really, honestly, that's what it's getting to, because the chemistry that they are having with this team that's having, and honestly, the Lakers, first of all, can we start by saying that the Lakers have the coldest group of white boys ever assembled in the NBA?
Exactly. Yeah.
Bro, y'all got Reeves, y'all got Luka, y'all got Connect, y'all got LaRavia. Like, bro, it's crazy. But yeah, I mean, without their top 2, and this is great. This is great experience for all of these players to get in and get their groove in, so that when these players do start coming back one at a time, like Luka is doing, like Luka coming back, bro. The Lakers are 6-2. Luka's coming back, and he's already averaging more points and assists combined than Dallas's top players, AD, Cooper Flag, and Klay Thompson. He's averaging more points and assists than all 3 of them players combined. And LeBron not even playing.
And speaking of the whole Luka Doncic trade,
Ayton had 29 and like 16 the other night. I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, that's like speaking of the whole Luka Doncic trade, which now it's made worse even this season, because Anthony Davis injured his Achilles. Basically saying he's out for the year.
Yep.
So tell me once again, because like when they got Cooper Flag, the Mavs fans like, oh, see, look, Nico was actually cooking in the end. Just wait, and then once again, Anthony Davis predictably gets hurt. This time, inches in his Achilles, and who won the trade again? Okay, but yeah, the question is now coming to. Are the Lakers going to trade? Should the Lakers trade LeBron? You know how I said I was talking about that last season. How the Lakers really need to try to trade LeBron, but the thing is, at this point, you cannot, because you can't trade LeBron not because you don't want to, it was because you really can't, because there is no team I see other than the Cavaliers. And like I said, I created like this convoluted trade about a few podcasts ago, but I still don't think it's really going to fall through. So, but yeah, there is no conceivable team that I see that would actually trade assets to get LeBron James, especially because he's on an expiring contract.
And he got sciatica
at a bad team. Yeah, and I was like, I think a bad team, yes, would trade for him because he's an expiring contract. But the thing is, LeBron James, I think he has a no trade clause. So in that, he gets to basically pick and choose where he wants to go. So he's not going to go to a garbage team. Though the only team that would trade for LeBron because he has an expiring contract is a garbage team, because the garbage team go, okay, we'll get this expiring contract on our books, and we'll probably sell a few tickets because we want to see LeBron. And then after he's done, we'll just get rid of him. We're not going to resign him like that. But yeah, because the thing is, when LeBron comes back, this chemistry that this Lakers team has gotten, and like you talked about, the chemistry between Luka, Reeves, and their other white boy, Latvia,
Latvia's a country.
Latvia, yeah, with Rui Hachimura, a guy that we also gave up. But anyway, with Rui Hachimura, with DeAndre Ayton, with all of that, is LeBron going to possibly mess up that? I don't mean to sound like
personally,
that.
I don't think so. I think LeBron too smart.
It's going to mess up that chemistry. Listen, but the thing is, we have seen like the way LeBron plays is kind of like, hey, when he's on the court, you got to play the LeBron system. That's why you see how a guy like, look at back in Miami, you see a guy like Chris Bosh kind of going to from a guy who used to play in the paint and stuff like that in Toronto to now he's a stretch 5, basically stretch 4 or 5.
But that was like LeBron like 10 years ago when he was still, ripping and running and everything like that. We've seen LeBron the past, since Luka got there, almost defer to Luka. So I don't see why he wouldn't do more of that with this team that he has, because he sees the chemistry, he likes it. Yeah. So I think LeBron is going to take a step back and kind of just fill in the gaps very well.
That's what it needs to be. For the Lakers, if LeBron wants to win another championship with the Lakers, it has to be Luka. Honestly, LeBron has to be the third option.
That's cool.
And LeBron has
got sciatica. Yeah. I'm sure he wants to be the third option.
and that's my point, because yes, LeBron James, you are one of the greatest players of all time. All right, Hall of Fame player, top 10 player of all time. At the very worst, at the very absolute worst, you are a top 10 player at all time. All right, once again, one of the greatest players we've ever seen. But at this point, like you said, you're about 41 years old, dude. You need to take a huge step back. Not just be the second option, be the third option. I think Luka needs to be the first, Reed second, And once again, the person who needs to be dominating the ball is Luka Doncic, because he's the Lakers' future, not you, LeBron. And that's why LeBron needs to be the third option. And that's the way I see him having a chance to win another championship with the Lakers. Even though I still don't think at this point the Lakers are going to win another championship. I'm sorry, not with LeBron. But I've been proven wrong before, so we will see. We will definitely see. But let's go ahead and wrap this podcast up, KJ, like we always do with our last second shout-outs. Who in the sports world, KJ, do you have to shout out?
I want to shout out my St. Louis Cardinals. Mason Wynn just won a Golden Glove, right? That means that the Cardinals now have 100 Golden Gloves, which leads the MLB in totality. So we're the only team with 100 Golden Gloves. Y'all can kiss my butt, Yankees.
And going from one Cardinals team to another, because my shout out goes to the Arizona Cardinals for destroying the Cowgirls on Monday night. Y'all Cowgirls fans thought y'all were safe? Y'all thought y'all were... Listen, after all the injuries that I have dealt with this season as a Commanders fan, the one thing that brought me joy was watching y'all get trashed by Jacoby Brissett and the Arizona Cardinals. Shout out to y'all. Shout out to y'all Cardinals fans making all the Cowgirls, because all the Cowgirls fans were sticking out their chests, feeling all good and stuff like that, thinking that they're going to make the playoffs and all that stuff, that this is their year and all that, and y'all just pretty much crushed those dreams into smithereens, and it does my heart warm to see that. So shout out to you, Arizona Cardinals. But that's all the time we have, folks. You've now tuned in to MC Ron and his co-host,
your guy, Zen, okay.
And we are keeping it 10 toes down. Ladies and gentlemen, if you want to be on the podcast and talk your sports stuff with the best in the business, that is me and my co-host KJ. All you have to do is one of two things. Either send an email to keepingit10toesdown@gmail.com. That is keepingit10toesdown@gmail.com. Or send us a direct message. That is on Instagram. That is at keepingit10toes. That is at keepingit10toes. Ladies and gentlemen, we are moving on with the NFL season. We got NBA still going on. I understand you baseball fans are sad that this season is over, but do not worry, y'all. Do not worry. Don't worry. Your season will be back in 2026. But what matters now is the NFL and the NBA season is just live and well. Live and well. Feels good. Doesn't feel good as a Commanders fan, though. But, doesn't even feel good as a Wizards fan either. But the things we got about the young players, so they're 1-6. It's all right, whatever. But you all have a great day, a great night, and enjoy Week 10 of the NFL and college as well.
The sun is under my feet and I come in peace to compete. I don't run if you athlete. My statistics go up in weeks and I go visit the nearest creek and I get busy. Yo, mini MC, really ballistic. Anybody can see any assistance. Everybody to see some persistence. Recognize I be really too vicious. The permanent beast and the demolition. Bringing up the street. Better partition. Better dot your T. Hannibal mention. How all you see. Putting my dick in the rap industry. Everybody bitching. Getting mad at me. Recognize Kendrick in a battery. And I'm charged up in a catastrophe. It's charged up in audacity. Y'all fucks never gonna hassle me and y'all luck.